2021 awards meeting to order. We have a physical quorum represented by Joe Orfano, Hai Vu, and myself. We also have Jordan Pope serving as a delegate for Laura Dutton and Todd Skinner filling in as a delegate for Ricky Ariston. They're joining us via WebEx. The Office of General Counsel is represented by David Miggett, and we have budget represented by Lori Whitmer. So before we begin reviewing today's agenda, I'll note that there isn't anyone physically present for public comment. Haley, is there any public comment via email or anyone on WebEx?
No comments at this time.
Thank you. I'll just pause for another moment to give callers an opportunity to unmute themselves. Hearing no comments, we'll proceed with today's regular agenda. On today's agenda, we have items 1 through 4 that have been reviewed by Procurement and Budget. These items are now ready to be reviewed by the Awards Committee, beginning with item 1, representing the minutes from the September 16, 2021 Awards Committee meeting. Are there any comments or corrections to be discussed? Okay. May I get a motion to approve award item 1, representing the minutes from September 16, 2021?
Hai Vu, so moved.
Joe Orfano, second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Before we vote, just a suggestion here. For the record, would it be informed, just so that we have a record, who's attending in person versus virtually? It doesn't really state that. Just so we can document that we had it does say we had a quorum present, but it doesn't indicate.
Yeah, well, so to that point, I think we should also mention that Blake Osner was a delegate for Laura Dutton as well.
I agree.
Okay, so we'll make those corrections to the minutes. All right, and we had a motion from Hai Vu and a second from Joe Orfano. With those amendments, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? All right, minutes are approved as presented. I'll pass it over to Jenny McCollum, Chief Procurement Officer, to walk us through each of the remaining items before we ask for a motion.
Thank you, Stephen. Through the chair, award number 2 is a contract increase and an extension. This is for electric plant industrial cleaning services. This was originally put out to bid 5 years ago to support Northside Generating Station and also St. Johns River Power Park. Clearly, St. Johns River Power Park is no longer using this contract, but we do still use it to support Northside. This is for wet and dry vacuuming services, hydroblasting, and ultra-high pressure cleaning services, chemical cleaning services, high volume pump services, et cetera. We also 5 years ago had requested what we referred to as option A pricing. And what that was, what that covered was a 40-hour per week contract for daily and industrial cleaning services and to provide specific equipment rental for a longer term monthly basis. And that was to help the plants out where they had lack of employees or, just labor restraints there, couldn't get to some of the stuff that they needed done. So this subsidized the JEA staff. MPW Industrial Services, Inc. Is the awardee that we're speaking about today, but just some history. We awarded 2 contracts. We had MPW Industrial Services was our primary, and that was a little over, it was about $6.7 million when we awarded this back in 2016. And then Thompson Industrial Services, LLC was our backup contract, about $2.5 million for not to exceed of about $9.3 million. So it's important clearly with these types of services, they also support outages. And so it's important to make sure that we have a contractor that can perform at all times. So that was the theory behind the backup. Since then, we have done a 10% increase through the procurement group, and that was back in April of 2021. We increased the contract about $690,000. The details are in the award write-up, and that was to allow for continued use of our ad hoc outage cleaning and the Option A services that we had been subsidizing the workforce with. For this change order, JEA is asking to add funding to still just the MPW contract to continue for 3 more months with the Option A, and then about $1,000 that we've estimated for outage support that starts October 1st. And then I asked Rodney to put a table in so that you could clearly see kind of from beginning to end the evolution of this contract with the 2 awardees, the original award amounts, and then any increases that we've done to help us then show you kind of where we've got to with the new not to exceed amount. This request is to, just to summarize, to award MPW Industrial Services, Inc. with a increase in the amount of $358,000, and then additionally the 2-month extension to the contract term. I'll just make a note that, well, 2 more notes. The current rates that we are using are going to be maintained through the term of this new, the new term that we're presenting today. So those aren't changing. The business has done, they have done a spend analysis on the Option A work to see, what that looks like currently today. Is it, more expensive for us to continue to use this contract or bid these services out, or should we be looking at bringing, some of these, this workforce in through our work spend contract? It appears from their research that the work spend rate per hour of the contract labor is currently less than the contractor billable rate per hour for the labor that's being performed currently. So they are doing some outreach, trying to recruit. What that would look like would be to, for JEA to manage 12 contract employees through work spend and discontinue the use of the Option A labor. And then just a note that JEA owns enough equipment that they could utilize our own equipment instead of having, the crews rent equipment. We've got 3 vacuum trucks, we've got 1 hydro blaster, and we've got a street sweeper. So that is kind of where this contract, this would take us through the end of this term, get them a few more months to continue to see if they can recruit through work spend. As a backup, our group is going to put out to bid, if it's not already on the street, it will be in the next week or so, to bid these services out again, just to make sure we have a contract if needed, if they weren't able to bring the work in-house. I'm going to pause there, and I'll ask Rodney. He's been really working closely with the business on this one, if I missed anything, and then just if you could comment on the outage work and how we'll handle that going forward. If we, bring the crews in-house internally, would we still use that bid that's on the street for outage support? If you could comment on that.
Hey, this is Rodney Good here. So yeah, job. The bid actually, and the pre-bid Friday. The contract will provide outage support, and as will the new contract. So the new contract and the bid that's on the street right now will be the ad hoc additional manpower and labor services during outages. So traditionally, if we didn't have Option A, we would just forecast and call out and bring in, 20, 30, 40 laborers or whatever they needed for outage support, for boiler cleaning or whatever else has to be done. And so that's where that extra ad hoc coverage comes from. That's where that $100,000 is forecast in the current increase. So new bid, we're looking at sometime in probably December to have something else in place. And then this increase will just give us a little bit more coverage or security in the event that are bringing folks in-house, or if we find that rates change significantly, maybe there's something else we want to do. But we spoke with MPW, and they were asking for a 10% increase previously just to support. So we're under the belief that rates are going to be going up pretty significantly.
Thanks, Rodney. I will pass it to the committee to see if you guys have any questions, if we can answer any other thoughts you guys might have.
This is hi, just again, more curiosity on my part, but I'm curious to see if we can find 12 contract employees. These are not just general contract laborers, but it sounds like they have to be trained in this with these equipments, vacuum trucks and ultra high pressure blasters. And so safety training is going to have to be considered, and call it supervision of these employees have to be considered. I'm assuming that the business unit did all that analysis and think that there's a good potential of finding the employees. I'm curious to see if we'll be successful in finding qualified employees to do the work.
Yeah, this, and I'm not sure if Charles Phelps is on the phone here for this call, but excuse me. They were looking at the labor rate analysis side of it, and yeah, definitely they'd have to have their training. The management that supervises the bulk material handling, those folks, and specifically Charles Phelps, he's a long time external contractor, kind of crew supervisor that did manage this kind of work on the outside as well. So he's going to be the one that's coordinating and covering the folks that'll be doing the work. As far as the specifics, did they count training hours or additional training? I don't know the answer to that, but anybody that comes in is going to obviously work through the business unit and get all the training that they need. And likely, I mean, in the interview process, they wouldn't want to pick up somebody that has no experience working in industrial cleaning equipment. So that's actually one of the things that's a concern, is they've been having a little bit of trouble getting as many responses for the work spend folks to come in as contract cleaning folks. So that's the other reason we're wanting to extend, and then also make sure that we have option A available in the event that they're not able to get the folks they need.
Thank you, Rodney. Understood.
This is Jordan. Just a quick question. So the solicitation on the street, although it may not be for option A in the event we bring on the work spend employees, it would still be, I think, understood to be the backup contract. Is that correct? So we wouldn't reject the bids if the work spend is successful. They would be a backup option. Did I understand that correctly?
So just one correction there. The bid that's on the street provides rates for laborers and equipment for outage coverage. So you put a contract in place, and then during your outage season, you forecast and you bring in more bodies. And then additionally, excuse me, there is an option A in that solicitation that requests rates for equipment and manpower on a 40-hour-a-week basis. So we'll have the option, we'll have the option to execute or not execute, but we'll still have a contract in place for the ad hoc services.
Makes sense. Thanks, Rodney.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, guys. Great questions. Do you guys have any others before I pass it back to the chair? All right. Pass it back to you, Stephen.
Thank you, Jenny. May I get a motion to approve award item 2?
Jordan Pope, motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is adopted. We have a motion from Jordan Pope and a second from Todd Skinner. Jenny, I'll pass it back to you for award item 3.
Thank you. Through the chair, this is a joint project. This is for to construct both force mains and water mains, and it's within the FDOT project footprint. This is approximately 850 linear feet of 8-inch PVC force main to replace the existing 16-inch ductile iron force main. And this will include gate valves, fittings, connections to the existing force main and grout filling and out of service of that 16-inch ductile iron force main. So that is on the force main side. The water main side, it is approximately 900 feet of 16-inch PVC water main with, again, the gate valves, the fittings. We have the fire hydrants and connections to the existing water main. This is the recommended awardee is the Florida Department of Transportation in the amount of $1,062,141. The project completion is estimated in December of 2025. The project it's linked to our master agreement. The JEA and FDOT has a master agreement. And so what we typically do from a joint project, if we're in the same footprint, is we will work with them through this agreement to include JEA's portion of the work and FDOT's bid when they go out to contractors for the construction piece. There's some efficiencies by doing the joint project. One being roadway restoration costs will be minimized. So we've put together an estimate of what we think the construction is going to be. The cost will be, this was done in June, and that's why you see the award amount matching our estimate right now. So this hasn't been bid out by FDOT. We make prepayments to them, and we will send this over if you all approve. If for some reason, the estimate comes back in and it is lower than what they had expected, or we need to, send more money over, we can do that. We'll bring it back to the awards committee to increase the contract amount. And if it comes in at a reduced rate, then JEA will get a refund. So explaining I know the committee understands how we work with FDOT and our master agreement, but just for the group as a whole, wanted to explain that a little bit more for those who haven't heard it yet. So I will ask the committee if you guys have any questions or comments about that. All right, I'll pass it back to Stephen for a vote.
Thank you, Jenny. May I get a motion to approve award item 3?
Joe Orfano, so moved.
And second?
Haibu, second.
We have a motion from Joe Orfano and a second from Haibu. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is adopted. I'll pass it back to Jenny to present award item 4.
Thank you. Through the chair, this is a contract amendment. This is for our Oracle customer to meter, which we refer to as our C2M project. So we originally bid this out in 2018. This was a proprietary award straight to Oracle, and this was for new licenses and a 1 year of support after installation and professional services for the upgrade and migration of our existing customer care and billing system that is currently in Oracle as well, which is what we refer to as CCMB, and licenses to move over to Oracle customer to meter C2M. The awardee is Oracle America Inc. in the amount of $932,646. I'll note there is if we haven't updated it, we did update it. Okay. So the go live date is February of 2022. Post go live is June of 2022. A little bit of history brought it before the awards committee in November of 2018, and the cost that was negotiated from a proprietary basis for this project was just under $10 million. Back in June of 2021, a contract amendment was approved by the awards committee for about $1.3 million. And now we are coming back with the request to finish this project out just under another $1 million here. So it's the $932K. So the amendment will specifically, it includes project extension representing professional services. So we've got about 900 man hours of project management services, 4,000 hours of defect analysis, triage and resolution, configuration, testing, migration, all of those things, dress rehearsals before we go live, and then about 680 hours of go live and post go live support. I believe I'll just note that there's been several major delays related to this project planning and governance. We make a mention of that in the background, but just to name a few, the issues related to infrastructure development, bug resolution, data migration and conversion, resource constraints, and testing approach, which prevented the project from being completed as expected, which I believe was about 24 months was our original estimate. We are now at 41 months. So I know everybody is interested in getting this project completed and finished out. That was 39 months of the go live scheduled at the 39-month mark, and then 2 months after that for post go live. So I'm going to pause there. Stephen, if there's anything else you want to add, or anyone from your group on the line that wants to add anything I might have missed, please chime in.
Yeah, I would just say as a reminder, this is the other professional services engagement. We presented Red Clay last week. Oracle is the balance of the resources that need to be engaged in order to finish the project successfully.
I'll also note that we do have a larger support contract with Oracle on the O&M side for all of our Oracle support, and so the support will roll over to that contract once we have exhausted it on this contract. So the support was only for a temporary piece while we were, implementing and moving forward with go live, post go live. We'll roll that in once it expires here into our larger Oracle support contract.
This is Jordan. I'll just note that we would like Stephen to stay around, and he's not interim anymore, and so we may want to update his title there on the award.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Good catch.
The reason it wasn't updated, Jordan, is the CIO hasn't officially started yet. So
okay, that makes sense.
Sunday evening.
Sounds good.
All right.
But a really, really good catch. And I'll just make sure, Nathan, I'm sure our group is on listening, but any contracts or any awards going forward with Stephen's name should have his new title there. And then also the chief title. So we would add a VP line and then our new chief title as well.
There you go. All right. Any other comments? Okay. May I get a motion to approve award item 4?
I move, so move.
Jordan Pope,
And a second? Jordan. All right, we have a motion from Haivu and a second from Jordan Pope. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion is adopted. The entire agenda is approved for September 23rd, 2021. Any other business to come before the awards committee? All right, seeing none, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.